Hello everyone, I'm Polly and today we're back at Yucca, my fall Japanese-inspired island, and today we're working on Fauna's little area up in the mountain, and Fauna is going to live next to the temple that I worked on last week, so if you haven't watched that area being built, be sure to check it out. But for now, let's focus on this area, and this build was a messy one. This was a constant trial and error process. I kept changing things all throughout the video, as you'll see, because I had this huge area to work with, but I also felt like it wasn't that big of an area. I wanted to have space for the temple to look big, and I didn't want Fauna's house to look too on top of the temple. So I decided to have a bridge dividing the two areas, and I feel like the bridge really helps to accomplish that look of, having a big division between the two areas. And before I talk more about this build, I just want to address the elephant in the room. I know that Fauna was not part of the villager list that I had for this island, and she just kept showing on the first villager hunt that I did for the 3 plots that you have to give the items so the villagers move in, the whole thing in the beginning of the game. And it was hard refusing to bring her to the island multiple times, and at one point I just gave in. She's a deer. Deer exist in Japan. She's super pretty. Her colors are fall appropriate, so I thought it would be okay to have her on the island. I think she's a great addition, to be honest. I don't regret getting her or inviting her to the island, and since I invited her to the island, I knew that I wanted her to live on the mountain area. I know that I said that most of the villager houses were probably going to be located on the small town that's going to be on the entrance area, but I feel like she belongs in this mountain area. Let me know if you agree. And she makes mochi and dango, some sweets. Because she's such a sweet girl, I feel like it fits with her vibe, her personality. I don't know. I will probably have a little shop for her. I'm not sure if I will be able to include it near the temple. I feel like the temple would be a great place to have that sort of business. It is a big attraction both for tourists that may visit the island, but also the residents. It's a place of, cult. So I feel like it would be a great place to have a little business. But if I'm not able to include it on this area, I will try to include it on the small town in the entrance. I'm not sure if I will be able to make it look like it is Fauna's shop. That's what's making me a little bit concerned about having the shop on the city or town side, but we'll see what I come up with. This area here, I was struggling. I'm not going to lie to you, because I wanted this area to feel open, but I also wanted to have some daily activities like a laundry area. So I started by having this laundry area in front of her house, but it also felt weird having the clothes drying in front of her house. It's the first thing that you see when you get to her house. So I ended up changing that. You'll see it in a little bit, but I just included some more forest vibes to her property. it's just an open space. She has a big property. She only uses the area that is closer to her house, and the rest is kind of running wild and free. But I decided to add the laundry area to the side of her deck where she, when the weather is nice, she works outside on her moshi castle. And just, she's an outdoorsy kind of girl. She likes to work with the nature, and I wanted to have some of the forest of the mountain also coming into our property and make it look very natural and peaceful. The access to this area was another struggle that I had. At first, I wanted to have some stairs aligned to the temple's portal, but it just wouldn't happen. I would either have to have 2 stairs to connect to this area, and it would ended up being 4 stairs because this is on the highest level of the cliff. So it was just too many stairs, and I don't know if I'll need more stairs in the future. So I ended up just making the access point in front of Fauna's house, and I feel like that doesn't disturb too much the aesthetic. I feel like it looks purposeful if it connects to a main path in the end, and it does. So I feel like it was a good and safe option to have here, and I just have some path with some nature decorating it, and I feel that's good enough for now. I may change it, I don't know. I also finished decorating, adding some nature to the end of the viewing area next to the temple, and I also added some forest to the interior side of the temple, behind the walls of the temple, just so it looks full and it looks natural, and the aesthetic continues, And here we have Fauna's interiors. Her house looks more traditional on the outside, and every build that it will be on the mountain area will be more on the traditional side. But I also wanted it to feel like it belongs in this century. So it will have a little mix of more traditional decorations and more modern, not modern, but in this century, that vibe. Maybe she lives with her parents, maybe she inherited the house from a loved one. Anyways, the decoration is a little bit eclectic, let's say. And I struggled a little bit with a wallpaper for the house. I ended up changing into the green variation because the wood tones of the white variation of the wallpaper were not working with the rest of the decor, and also the window and all that. So it was a little... at first I didn't want to have the green variation because I was afraid that was going to make the interiors look way too dark, and I didn't want the house to have a dark and heavy feeling. But I feel like breaking the dark tones with some lighter decorations, not in terms of colors, but in terms of vibes, I feel like that works pretty well. I added a door just so it doesn't look like our house is just this area. There's more house besides this main area that you're able to see. I like to do that just so the houses don't look as small as they are. I feel like it wouldn't make sense this house being small since it is in such a big property. But I just put some dango next to our table that I don't know if I will change that table. You know, I struggled a little bit choosing a table as well. We'll see. But for now, it works. So I'm going to leave it like that. If you have a suggestion for a better table, please let me know. A table that isn't too big, you know, that fits on that little area. But I just added some lighting as well, just make it look cozy. And I also added a rug underneath the table and chairs because I didn't want the people to be sitting on the floor, you know, and change the lighting to make it look cozier. And that's it. And I really like how this looks. And here we have the final result, the little transition between the temple and Fauna's house, the little bridge. I think it looks so pretty. And our property here, I feel like it looks open, but it doesn't look empty, which was the aesthetic that I was really looking for. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this build as much as I did. And again, if you haven't watched me build the temple and the lookout area behind Fauna's house, be sure to check it out. Also, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!